Speaking of hot takes, Ephraim, I mentioned it earlier. I don't know that you knew about it, but Bobby Marks, who works at ESPN, does a good job there explaining the salary cap and things like that, collective bargaining agreement. He's the former assistant general manager with the Brooklyn Nets. And he made a statement that is jaw-dropping. Here it is.
What do you think about Ray Allen's sort of philosophy and criteria?
I think Ray Allen hit it on the head, and I'm going to stun you with this take here. I actually think Steph Curry is the second best player of all time, right behind Michael Jordan. Curry has this instinct, what I saw with Jordan, where anytime he has the ball, you think it's going to go in. He is a threat offensively. I think we've got 3 or 4 more years of Curry in his prime right now. I think we could probably do another 15 minutes on what I just said.
I'm floored. I'm absolutely floored.
I think I would put Curry ahead of LeBron James right now as far as that number 2 guy behind
I love this
Michael
so much.
Jordan.
We always do LeBron or Jordan, and here comes Bobby Marks off the top rope, just filling all of the rundowns for tomorrow's show, saying that Steph Curry should actually be in front of LeBron James in the GOAT conversation. Now, I just want to make sure we're being clear here. Yes. Are you projecting the rest of his career, saying he'll get there, or are you saying right now?
Right now.
Wow.
And he'll be a solid number 2 when we get to, I don't know, 3 or 4 years from now.
All right, let me paint the picture. I could give the full context, Ephraim, before you pounce. And I do mean pounce, all right? Because you jumped on me for putting him in my top 10.
Yeah,
and Bobby Marks got him second.
Please set the table.
Yeah, Ray Allen, I don't know if you saw the clip, and I don't know that Ray knew he was on camera. He's a teammate of LeBron's in Miami. Obviously, probably saved LeBron in that second championship.
Oh, definitely.
Miami got right
Absolutely.
over San Antonio. Arguably the biggest shot, that or Kyrie's, arguably the biggest shot in NBA history.
Don't forget Robert Horry. Come on now.
Yeah, I mean, great.
Lakers, Kings.
Yeah, that was a conference final though. These were finals. But that's a great shot. I don't want to take anything away from Horry. But Ray Allen said, was caught on video. It came out yesterday. He was asked by some kids, some teenagers, if LeBron is the GOAT. And Ray Allen says no. He said, is he the greatest free throw shooter? Obviously no. Is he no, he said, is he a great free throw shooter? No. Is he a great 3-point shooter? The kid said no. Is he what was the third thing, Rob G? A great dribbler. Is he a great dribbler, ball handler? The kid said no. He said, then no, he can't be the GOAT. And Ray ended up saying it was Michael Jordan. So that is the context of what Bobby Marks was saying. He said, that's why he said Ray hit it on the head. So he goes with Steph. Your turn, Ephraim. What do you think?
It's funny because, this is a hot take, and everybody, we're going to be talking about this for a week and so on and so forth. But it's completely rubbish, to steal a slang word from over the pond. It's rubbish. And you know why? In my mind, to be in the top 2 of all-time greats, you can't just play one side of the basketball.
Right.
Right? Let's get real. Right? Michael Jordan is the GOAT. He was also 9 times all first team defense.
Right.
Right?
Defensive player of the year.
Defensive player of the year. Like we keep throwing this term around
and
loosely.
LeBron was a great defender.
LeBron, of course he was.
6-time all defense. Yes.
Of course he was, because that's what it takes. That's what it takes to be considered one of the greats or the GOAT. It doesn't take jump shots. What? It doesn't take fancy dribbling. That's never been the criteria of being the best player in the league. It takes you being the best player on the floor on both ends of the basketball. If you can't be that, you're not in the conversation. I don't care how good you shoot threes or free throws or jump shots.
So where do you, roughly, I'm not asking for your exact place, but what do you have, Steph? Top 15, top
12,
20, top 25?
Top 12, top 15. He is
12 to 15.
He's arguably one of the greatest basketball players to ever play. Nowhere near the greatest basketball to ever play. And being 2 behind Jordan, that's pretty near in my book.
It's an interest. I think 2 is too high. All right, and for the reason you said, defense. And look, I always say this: when you are comparing all-time greats in any sport, you nitpick because they're all phenomenal. They are all phenomenal, but little differences here and there. And Ephraim, that's what you do. That's what, with world-class athletes, the difference is minor. But that's the difference. The difference between being the GOAT and being 7th or just in the top 10 is minor.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll give an example that people can understand. The 100-meter dash. Usain Bolt was an outlier because he was just so far. We've never seen a guy that far ahead of the pack, right? But outside of him, the difference between winning gold and finishing out of the medals is what?
Less than a second.
Couple tenths of a second?
Far
less than a second.
Yeah.
Like 2/10 of a second. 3/10 of a second. So that's the difference with world-class athletes. So all these guys are great, including Steph, obviously. But to your point, that's one of the niches you pick. Well, LeBron was a fantastic defensive player for a decade. Steph has certainly gotten better. He is a smart defensive player. He talks a lot. He's always in the right spot. His rotations are good. So he's solid at best. But he's not what you would call a good or certainly not a great defender.
If he was solid at best, then teams wouldn't hunt him for the high pick and roll. You understand what I'm saying?
But now he's become a solid defender.
Yeah, but guess what?
Because team defender.
Just right now in this playoffs, Boston went at him. And you know what they did? You know what Golden State did? They didn't switch. They showed and got back. Right. That lets you know what his own team thinks of his defensive prowess. Right?
Right.
We're not going to switch.
Right.
We're going to show and you're going to get back. And you do that to hide a player. You do that so now an inferior defensive player is not guarding a dominant offensive player. Show and get back. If he was a decent defensive player, that wouldn't even be up for discussion.
Let me ask you this. Is there anything he could, like, let's say, I'll throw out a couple scenarios for you because we obviously agreed he's not the second best player ever.
No.
Not better than LeBron James.
Oh, man, that's silly.
If let's say Kevin Durant goes back there, I know it's a big if, and they win 2 of the next 3 championships. And say overall I don't know that they'll win. I say they win 2 of the next 3.
Mm-hmm.
He would have 6. Do you think there'd be an argument for him being better than Magic Johnson? You know, the best point guard ever.
There'd be an argument there, but Magic Johnson was a point guard. Now, see, over the years, we've changed the definition of a point guard.
I call Steph a point guard.
Right?
But you're right. I mean, he's
not
a scorer,
point guard. He's a scorer. He's a shooting guard. Magic Johnson is a point guard. John Stockton was a point guard. Right?
I'm putting Steph at the point.
Magic Johnson.
And there's a lot of players
Magic Johnson over his career.
James Harden, point.
Right.
2.
No,
really a point.
James Harden's not a point guard.
Well, he's been a point guard for the last
just because you bring the ball up, just because you bring the ball up.
No, but he runs the offense.
I understand that, right? He runs the offense for him.
Okay, so if Steph doesn't bring the ball up a lot of the times, why can't he be a point guard? If you're saying just because James Harden does bring it up doesn't make him a point guard. I'm just saying there's guys that are Allen Iverson. I put him as a 2. I'm with you. I tend to put Harden as a 2.
If you put Allen Iverson
but I'm
as a
putting
2,
Steph as a 1.
if you put Allen Iverson as a 2, you got to put Steph as a 2. What are you talking about?
Nah,
that doesn't even make sense.
No, it does make sense.
How?
Allen Iverson was a straight up scorer, was not a guy like Steph played the point when now that was a long time ago, when Mark Jackson was there and actually put up great numbers. His assist career high was with Mark Jackson because they were running basic high pick and roll like everybody else.
Steph
But
Curry,
now he's in an offense where it's
Curry
different
plays,
and you're moving off the ball. It's their offense. It's not his inability to be a point guard. He is a tremendous passer or a very good passer.
See, you using these words, man.
No, he's a great passer.
Look, but you're using
He is a great passer.
You're using these words like tremendous passer, great passer. Like that's what you would say about Magic. You would say that about Stockton.
Magic is the best
wait a minute,
passer
wait, man. Like you using all of these verbs and adjectives to describe things that they don't. He's a good passer. Steph
No,
Curry's
he's more than good. Have you watched him pass the basketball?
I've watched him play
it's not
his
their
entire.
offense.
Oh my God!
It's not their offense.
Okay, well.
I mean, really, he's not. He doesn't play point guard like the most of the others in the league. Who does? Is Draymond the point guard? They don't have a point guard. I mean, really?
So why
it's
are
more
you
old school where you almost have a 2-guard front almost.
So why are we calling him why are you calling him one of the best point guards if he doesn't play the point?
To me, he's a point. If I have to put him at a position, it's point guard. Because their team,
the greatest shooter. Hold on, let me wait 1 second. The greatest shooter ever.
Yes. Can't be the point guard?
Wait, just listen. Hold on, man. Relax. I know it's Turn Up Tuesday or Trash Talk Tuesday, but just hold on 1 second, man. You sitting back in your leather couch, your leather chair in your bathroom office.
Bathroom office. Well, you should see my digs. Bigger than a bathroom.
What I'm saying to you is you tell me that he's the greatest shooter ever. I'm not disputing that.
Right.
There's a whole position in the NBA dedicated to just that. It's called the shooting guard. The guard that shoots. Oh, is Steph Curry the greatest shooter ever? Why, yes, he is.
I know you're not trying to make that argument.
I'm not. It's not an argument.
That's
not an argument.
In my 3 of the top 4 shooting guards ever, you probably agree with this list. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and Dwayne Wade were not what you call tremendous shooters. Jordan, awesome mid-range shooter, but not certainly not a tremendous three-point shooter. Kobe, really good shooter, but not what you call a tremendous, not in the Ray Allen, Reggie Miller, Larry Bird, Steph Curry conglomerate. Mm-hmm. And Dwayne Wade wasn't a good shooter, period. That's why I'm saying, I know you didn't use that. Thank you.
He's a scorer.
They're scorers at the 2 guard. Now, some of them are great shooters. Some of them are just great scorers.
Steph is a scorer at the guard position as well.
He's more than a scorer. It's their offense.
Okay, so
it's like back in the day when teams ran 2-guard fronts.
Okay,
and one guy didn't rack up 10 assists.
Yeah, I understand that, but it's not our fault that he falls more into the scoring guard category than the point guard category.
You just don't want to consider the fact that one day he might pass Magic. That's really what this is all about.
That's not what it's all about. Why would I try to hold on to that?
Because you a Laker fan. You know your Laker fandom comes out in your takes.
Yeah, but I'm not a Bulls fan.
And I got Magic as the best.
I'm not a Bulls fan. I hated the Bulls growing up. I hated they got their first championship in '89 against my Lakers. But I will sit here and tell you that Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player.
That's undeniable.
That's not true because there's arguments out there.
Well,
your cohorts, but your cohorts will argue
you arguments that I swat down like Bill Russell.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, don't say that because I'm a Laker fan. I'm going to be biased to reality.
All right, big man. All right.
Yeah,
Looking
take
at
your,
me
take
like
your
I'm
glasses off. You better be glad you 3,000 miles away, man.